Republicans may actually be getting closer to an Obamacare repeal and replace bill. No matter what you see, hear, or read, senior political analyst Brit Hume has some thoughts about that. Good evening, Brit. So you say you're saying there's a chance.
Well, look at it this way, Brett. About 3 weeks ago, when this initial Senate measure was first presented, within a matter of days, we had 4 hard no's we knew about, and another 6 members who had expressed severe reservations. So they might all have, as many as 10 no votes. So the second version comes out just a few days ago, and we now have 2, holding at 2 hard no votes, which tells you that real progress toward getting the thing passed has been made. It doesn't mean it's going to pass, but it's so close now, Brett, that when it gets down to it, it's probably going to pass, 50-50 with a tie-breaking vote from the vice president. That if one of the members, a third member, votes no and sinks the bill, that member will go into the 2018 election, which may be what he or she is afraid of, having cast the bill that will universally be seen by Republicans as having been the vote that saved ObamaCare. Now, look, there are going to be political headaches from the bill itself. But I think it's a pretty good argument that the headaches from being the one who saved Obamacare for any Republican senator would be worse.
So there's a group that we know are concerned about the current version, and they may be waiting for the Congressional Budget Office to weigh in with the official score. But it seems like the leadership and the administration are trying to make this a binary choice. Well,
yeah, and when you get down to it, I mean, as a practical matter, that's what it is. Because if this fails, it means that we've hit the legislative end of the road. The chances of reviving some other version of this, getting it through the Senate and then, of course, back through the House again, I would call extremely remote at this stage. And, of course, there's a whole train of other legislative matters they're trying to get to. They need to get this out of the way. It has budgetary impacts that help some of the legislation that's coming behind it. So this is probably the end of it. It means Obamacare lives as is, unreformed, basically unchanged. And some Republican out there, some individual Republican, probably won't be more than one, because that's what we look like we're down to, will be the one who did it. Do you want to be that person? If you were a Republican, would you want to be that person? So in an odd way, the very closeness of the vote, in an odd way, may help to get that final vote they need, to hold that final vote in place.
It seems like Senator Rand Paul wants to be that person.
Well, Rand Paul operates in a different category. Rand Paul is he would hate this, but if you're looking for somebody who could be called a Republican in name only, that is to say somebody who is not a team player, he would be it. Now, I'm sure he has a following that says he's standing for principle. I'm not sure exactly how it supports your principles to be the one who sinks the effort to repeal Obamacare, but he seems able to occupy that territory, and he's comfortable with it. I don't think they can get him, and I don't think they can get Susan Collins either. So they got to hold everybody else. I think they got a chance to do so. It's by no means guaranteed, but I think there's a real chance.
Well, what about the dust up over these deals that some of these moderates are getting, it appears, to kind of carve out their states? It was a big story, obviously, during ObamaCare, during those final days.
It was a big story, and it was kind of embarrassing to some members, but the question about that is, will those deals help the bill pass or hurt its chances? I think they may be embarrassing, but I think on balance, deals like that tend to help the bill's chances, because it gives the member something to take home and say, yeah, I know you people back home here are worried about X. Well, this is what I got to fix X.
Finally, we cover all the developments about the latest Russia investigation. Obviously, a lot of talk over the weekend about that Russian meeting and all of the explanations.
Right.
Is there a point where this administration is going to get everything together and get it out? It seems like there's kind of a continual focus.
Yeah, further. Well, I don't think the additional revelations about who was in the meeting with Donald Trump Jr. have really moved the ball very much. But it would have been better if when he put out his emails to indicate everybody who was there. But the administration needs to learn the lesson that when something needs to be put out there, you're going to have to stand the reaction to. Get it all out. That almost always works better. But perhaps they'll learn that. The real question is, Brett, not about this meeting, in my opinion. The question is whether there'll be further meetings and patterns and evidence of contact, communication, and collaboration. If that happens, all bets are off. The administration is in dire straits. So far, we haven't seen that.
All right, Brett. Thank you.
You bet.